All right, fantastic. Let's get started. I know it looks like we have some additional people joining the webinar, so we'll let everyone come in. Happy Wednesday to everyone, and thank you so much for joining our FEVOForum on May 3rd. Cannot believe it's May, but really excited to have this group of panelists joining us. Today's topic is really going to be featuring the future and also discussing some of the present theme nights and group sales initiatives that these great panelists are going to be highlighting at their respective teams. I see a number of familiar names joining this webinar, some even new names. So before we get started, for those of you that I have not had a chance to meet, my name is Kara Leese. I am our SVP here at FEVO. Very excited to actually have a couple of panelists I work directly with day to day joining us. I am based in Atlanta, Georgia. And before I turn it over, really just want to thank the three panelists for joining us today to highlight some of the initiatives that they're working on or have worked on over the years. Kylie, I'm going to turn it over to you to give a brief intro.
Hi, my name is Kylie Solser. I'm Assistant Director of Ticket Operations at LSU. Previous to here, I was at University of Houston for 3 years and then did 2 seasons at the Texas Rangers as well.
Hey everyone, I'm Cooper Fazio, Ticket Operations Manager with the XFL, previously Tennessee Titans and Nashville Sounds.
Rob Sivitz, Senior Manager with Group Ticketing. The Atlanta Falcons, been here for 8 seasons, and then previous stops at Legends Global Sales. And then, fun fact, Cooper and I were both Ripken baseball interns in Myrtle Beach. So shout out to anyone that participated in that experience.
Love it. We might have some Myrtle Beach attendees on the call as well. So thanks so much, the three of you. Anyone joining us, as you come on, please be aware that there is a Q&A button at the bottom of the Zoom. We are going to have some time at the end for a Q&A session. So please feel free to drop those questions in, and I'll make sure to highlight them towards the end of the webinar as well. So we have 45 minutes together today, and as I noted, we're excited to highlight some big initiatives as it relates to theme nights as well as group sales in this space. I think what is so nice about the list of panelists today is they come from a very good range between pro, we have XFL, Falcons, as well as LSU. So hopefully everyone on the call will have a chance to pick up some helpful nuggets from them all. Key part is, as I mentioned, I'm seeing some familiar participants joining us, but for anyone that is new to FEVO, or maybe this is your first time really diving in and seeing what FEVO is all about, really want to simplify what we do here at FEVO and how our partners are able to utilize us. You know, FEVO really is the social shopping cart that's going to allow your fans to experience a lightning fast checkout, as well as stay on brand for your team and organization. What that's going to lead to is going to be high conversion numbers. We're going to talk about some of those with the case studies we have with the three panelists today, as well as secure data capture. I know any marketing folks on the team, you guys are always looking for new ways to capture data. So that's going to be a key point we'll hammer home. And then lastly, and most important for our ticket sales folks on the call, more sales and revenue for your organization. Throughout today, I think a key piece to keep in mind is, why FEVO? Obviously, a number of the panelists on the call work with FEVO day to day. Myself, even having the opportunity on the team side to utilize FEVO. Specifically, as we go through trends for theme events and group sales, we're going to uncover some of the details that the Falcons, XFL are specifically using FEVO to drive those sales initiatives. I'm going to open up this question actually to the group of panelists, and Cooper, you're in my top video, so I'm going to have you go first. During your initial conversations, with FEVO, for your specific organization, what were maybe like 1 to 2 reasons why your organization decided to move forward and utilize FEVO for some of your sales processes this past season?
Yeah, I think the ease of use for both the back-end user and the customer definitely is a great selling point. Personally, I've been using FEVO since probably 2017-ish, so super familiar with everyone at the company, and I've seen some great success with my past jobs, and it was just a no-brainer to continue the partnership with the XFL.
Thanks, Cooper. Rob, what about for you at the Falcons?
Yeah, similar answer on the ease of use. For me, we have an amazing ticket ops team, Alex, Casey, and Kiara, who've been able to train me and a few of my reps. So in terms of being flexible internally, we're able to handle some back-end updates on our own rather than having to go through an internal approval process. So that really helps us get deals changed up quickly as the climate changes on certain offers.
Thanks, Rob. Kylie, how about you at LSU?
Kind of a similar answer to these guys. It was just easier for the customer, and they're a little bit more likely to complete the purchase if they don't have to make an account and all the stuff that on a normal group they would have to do on our website. So it really just kind of boiled down to the ease for the fans. That's kind of why we push things that way.
Great. So consistent across the board, ease of use. And I think really as far as conversion numbers, there's some good data points we'll dive into. You can obviously see the topics that we're going to go through today, but I think everyone who is joining us as a listener, one thing I really want to highlight is there is no one silver bullet to all things theme nights and group sales. But I think what I'd love for this group to really understand, and I think FEVO recognizes every market is different. My goal for all the listeners today, it is going to be really helpful if you pull 1 to 2 takeaway items specifically that you can implement at your team. I think those are areas that our FEVO success reps want to be able to continue share across all of our partners. But as a takeaway, just think about that 1 or 2 nuggets of information that you might hear from these panelists. Let's see how we can incorporate and implement it at your team specifically. All right, Kylie, let's start with you first, because I think this is the time of year for any collegiate folks on the call. It is game planning for family weekend. LSU had a very, very successful family weekend through FEVO, and would like for you to really share what was the 2022 family weekend offering and what was all included in your family weekend package.
Sure. So we did, we kind of gave people options. So we did our group rate, which is in our 600 level, maybe not the best seats in the house, but it is a discounted option for people who are more on a budget. We also offered them seats that were closer to the student section. So parents wanting to kind of get the experience with their student that they're visiting. It's a little bit higher of a price point, but kind of a different experience. And then we also allowed people to get parking as well. Just kind of 2 different versions of the same thing. If you're looking for a discount or if you're wanting to get that kind of college experience, so to speak, with your kid.
Great. For family weekend, how was last year the first year moving it to FEVO, or talk to us about kind of the past way that family weekend was initially being offered to attendees?
Yeah, so this was last season was the first year that we actually did it through FEVO. In the past, it's been more of a just communicating with the family weekend people on campus, them communicating how many they need, and then it's more of them being responsible for handing out those tickets, which is, I'm sure everyone knows, not the easiest for them or us in terms of, making sure that the people who are supposed to have the tickets have the right tickets, or even just capturing data on our end as well. And I think once we kind of came to an agreement of we can take some of the burden off y'all's office as well, it was almost like a no-brainer for them. They were very hesitant to kind of jump on board, but once they did, they realized it's very beneficial for them too.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because the ease of use, but really the time-consuming process and manual work that can sometimes be involved with family weekend, I think there's a good amount of people on the call that have experienced that pain point. Something to highlight about LSU Family Weekend was the conversion numbers were 24%. That's awesome when you see the average conversion rate in most areas being about 5%. Now, obviously, there's kind of some factors that fall in line. One, how desirable an offer is, which obviously Family Weekend, it's a big draw for your LSU folks. And two, like how many people are actually receiving this offer can affect that conversion number. But would you mind sharing what was the cadence or kind of marketing approach for forwarding out family weekend, and where was that being promoted out to the families?
Our family weekend office does well, not just family weekend, but our family services office, they do a great job of promoting via their website, their internal like groups that all the family groups that can be joined here. So they do an awesome job. We really just get the calls of people asking questions about it. So it's just kind of working together to make sure we're giving them all the necessary information. And because some people will reach out to them as opposed to coming to us, because they're more comfortable and understand those people. But they do an amazing job of getting it in front of the right people and getting the families where they need to go. So
great. Kylie, so last year being first year on FEVO, obviously there's probably been some really key learnings that you took from last year. Can you share with the group some key learnings from last year that you're looking to implement for the upcoming family weekend?
Absolutely. I was actually really surprised that the amount of people that were willing to pay the higher price as opposed to the kind of cheaper option. So I think just knowing that people are willing to do that, maybe having more of an inventory, because that went a lot quicker than I think we expected, because I don't think we expected quite as big of a demand. So just having a little bit more of that available. And then also kind of letting the families know, we ended up doing a spring family, or they did spring family weekend, and we gave them other sports as well, but just kind of letting people know, hey, by doing this, and if you want to come back in the spring, we can make sure that you're getting all the information you need. But I think the big thing is just making sure we do have that other option that's a little bit lower level, better seating for them available, more than what we thought we would need.
That's great. And obviously having that as a key learning, I think being able to offer multiple price points, but we're seeing across the board, like there's offers and initiatives that people are willing to spend that higher dollar amount for the experience. Let's talk a little bit about planning and timeline. I know obviously we're in the month of May, but what's crazy is football season is right around the corner. So how soon are you and the team at LSU looking to actually launch your family week and offer for 2023?
We actually talked with them last week, kind of starting that timeline, that conversation, determining a game and that sort of thing. They want to go live beginning of August, just being able to send out that link. Ideally, we're going to do it a little bit earlier just to kind of get ahead of the game and be able to plan a little bit better. But yeah, we've started having conversations really last week about it.
Fantastic. Across the board, I think what we're hearing on the FEVO side, just as Kaylee mentioned, as far as early planning, I know it's also really been seen across family weekend that a number of new freshmen or more of your younger student parents are the ones that are really wanting to take advantage of those offerings. So being able to really catch them as graduation is ending in May can be a great timeline. So happy to hear those conversations are happening earlier, which is always great for a good runway. Transitioning a little bit as well, Kylie, into theme nights. This past year, FEVO had an opportunity to work with you and your team to support and move your theme nights online. Can you share with the group how your team has really identified or determined like what theme nights you'll be launching every season?
Yeah, I think we've had some success in the past with, some theme nights versus others, the military appreciation night, youth sports night, healthcare workers. And I think it's just, we tend to target depending on the sport. So for football season, right, we'll do more of a youth football team, youth sports night push, but still reach out to other like baseball, little leagues and things like that. But just really focusing on people who would be interested in that sport more than some others. And we tend to do some similar theme nights across the board, but just making sure we're marketing it to the right groups.
And my last question in regards to theme nights, and I think you kind of alluded to it, right? In most cases, when there's change, there's a little bit of hesitation, whether that's internally or depending on different departments. For you all at LSU, what was really the thought process in moving those online and being able to offer with the FEVO buy flow for theme nights specifically?
I think it was almost more of a kind of a rip the Band-Aid off situation, making it, once people I think realize how much easier it is for them, there's a lot more buy-in, because we know how easy it is for the fan, and then also for us as well, setting up the offer, but it's just kind of getting the people kind of on board. Once they're on board, it's great, and they understand and they get it, but it's just kind of giving them that, making that the only option almost.
Great. Thanks so much, Kylie. Before we transition really into some more initiatives from Rob and his team, I think something to keep in mind, and Kylie, you might be able to speak to this a little bit as well. For any teams outside of the collegiate segment, I think there really is a larger opportunity for our organizations and teams to collaborate in market. I know we've had some different teams working with our collegiate partners to do a graduation offer or some type of student pass. So something to think about for the individuals on the call is, if you are collegiate, do you have a relationship with the other teams outside or in your market? And for those that might be on the pro level, do you have a relationship at the collegiate level that you can really collaborate with those organizations to benefit on both sides? Thanks, Kylie. Great. Rob, really want to dive into some of your specific kind of theme nights, but even more importantly, I think what the Falcons have done a fantastic job of this past year was really dialing into opportunities where there is a ticket plus a add-on item. Specifically for the Falcons, you've had an opportunity to offer a ticket plus a tailgate to really drive revenue across the board. Can you outline to the group really what the ticket and tailgate offerings you have throughout the year?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me today. So we partner up with Revel XP to put on, and our sponsorship team to execute a Terrapin tailgate in our Home Depot backyard. So that's a 3-hour pregame experience. Really, we're trying to target a younger demographic where they don't have their tailgate plans set in stone. So this is an ease of access where we do have people buying the day of through QR code in our Home Depot backyard. In a sense, they get 3 drink tickets and then access to a buffet. There's a giant screen in there so they can watch pre-games. If we have a primetime game, which we did not have last year, we are able to play other games on that. And then there's cornhole and other yard games. So it's a great opportunity for people that aren't looking to bring a whole tailgate setup. And allows us to take care of that for them and reach, like I said, that younger demographic.
Great. Internally, talk to us. How did your organization decide to start really offering or looking at ways to tie in a tailgate?
Yeah, it was the Home Depot backyards. The Georgia Dome used to be located right there. And then when we started carving out spaces, we realized outside of parking, there was an opportunity to have about a 750 person tailgate spot. So Revel XP, I believe, approached us and put together a pretty good opportunity that made sense for a ticket and a tailgate to be at a reasonable price for that target demographic.
Great. I'm glad that you hit on the target demographic. So being able to really dive into that younger demographic, specifically for this offer, we did some case studies and some information behind it and found that it was 100% purchased via mobile. So can you talk to us, do you feel like mobile has also been a way to attract that younger demographic using FEVO or transacting like on game day, maybe when they're coming up or looking to attend the game as well?
Absolutely. I think the user interface on the mobile device through FEVO is as clean as it is on the website, which really does help us out. And it allows us to have confidence when we are selling this through QR codes, knowing that we're not going to lose sales because of any struggles they would have on their mobile device.
Great. So Rob, diving into additional ticket plus merchandise items, I think the team has had a really good chance. I think of you guys' holiday bundle that you did. That was awesome. For the Falcons specifically, what kind of other packages are you maybe looking at this upcoming season to really utilize that ticket plus merchandise piece moving forward?
Yeah, the holiday pack was one of our favorites. We did a mitten koozie, so that was an item I've barely ever seen. So it was something unique we were able to sell. It became one of a time and a big hit in the office where we had employees looking to buy the package just to get a McKoozie. But a big part of the strategy to come up with these merchandise packages is truly looking at what teams and other leagues are doing. So every off season, all of the reps are assigned a league. So we had someone assigned to the WNBA, NBA, college sports, minor league sports, and we're seeing what success other teams are having with items. We then have a pretty good few top best leaders in each category. We run these ideas by them, which then allows us to roll out an item that we feel is going to create additional value along with the discount ticket. So for military, the challenge coin is very big for us. First responders, that's one we're looking to bring back, where last year we did an ID badge because if they're diehard Falcons fans, that's something that they can wear on any given day. So we're in the process. So we're not able to really announce anything for this upcoming season, but really a lot of the best ideas came from probably people that are on this call.
Great. The other element that I think potential partners listening in might experience is usually when you have a ticket and some type of merchandise element, right? There's either advanced ordering or collecting orders beforehand, or maybe even looking at marketing if they have extra merchandise items. Can you share what the internal process is for the Falcons if you want to do a ticket and merchandise? Are you working with certain departments? Are you ordering in advance? Share that with the group would be helpful.
Yeah, so the sales reps are actually looking to finalize all of their add-on items here in the next week, with us going live on schedule release in the next week. We're looking then to have our Father's Day pack, which will be a golf package, ready to go in June. So we are, that's a big opportunity for this year, is to have our items picked out 2 to 3 months in advance, which then allows us to have an accurate number when placing the order. So that way our storage room isn't full of excess inventory that we're later on just giving away at sales tables. And then for distribution, we've done it 2 different ways. We have a table set up in our 300 level where we'll do item distribution, and we'll encourage people to be there from gates open up through halftime. We've had really good success with that. For a holiday pack, because there were a couple of games where they could pick from, we actually were able to go through the warehouse and have those mailed out directly, where the reps did not have to spend 2 full days in the office packing up and mailing out the items themselves. So that saves us a lot of time.
Great. I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because I know we're getting ready to launch an exciting one also for Atlanta United in relation to being able to ship out. So something for all the listeners on their call, there's great ways for us on FEVO side to add language to Rob's point of where they need to pick up the item, or there's additional opportunities that if you need to include shipping in that offering, connect with your success rep on that, and we can help walk through those logistics. This isn't a loaded question by any means, Rob, but it sounds like you're doing a lot of merchandise items that aren't tied to, say, a specific color or a specific size. Has there been any success stories with doing more items that it's one size fits all, or kind of not having sizing tied to that? What learnings have you found from that maybe?
Yeah, I don't know if we really did any t-shirt or hat giveaways last year. We were going with specific one size fits all, and it really makes the distribution process end game easy for the reps, because for a rep standpoint, being at a table for 3 or 4 hours can be exhausting. And you know, we want to think about it from their perspective. We want it to be easy for the customer and just as easy for the rep. So the mitten koozie, one size fits all challenge coin. So we really do try and come up with unique items. There's plenty of free shirt giveaways from our partnership team. So we try and come up with more unique ideas that maybe you can't even find on, our NFL Pro Shop.
Great. I think all of us on the call have had those days standing at a sales table. So definitely nice to speed that process along. You talked about the coin for the military offer. And that is from a traditional group standpoint, an area that the Falcons have really had an opportunity to exceed with military initiatives. Can you talk to the group how you've maximized that segment and potentially some partnerships that you have with the military offerings?
Yeah, Steve Cannon, our vice chairman, is a West Point grad, and he's really come in and really made sure honoring the military, not just on game day, we're year in, year out, it is high of importance. So when we're doing any military package, we're always getting feedback from the local bases. We're able to curate not just packages that are giveaway items. We do have exclusive discounts. And now you guys are partnering up with GovX, so we're really excited about that. We've been partnering up with GovX for years. And so for you guys to now be working together really makes it easier for us. And military tickets is, I think, a top 7 search engine for the Atlanta Falcons. So there's lots of eyes on it, but we don't just try and do discount tickets. We also build out experiences. So we do work closely with our live events team to integrate packages for color guard and flag crew, halftime performances, and then even non-event day honorings of military as well. So we do not just salute the service, but we look to provide discounts to every single game for military members.
It's awesome too, as you noted, really collaborating with those other departments to make the entire game look and feel with some of those military components. As Rob mentioned, for those of you that may have missed, we are really excited about our new partnership with GovX. So great opportunities there. If you're already working with GovX or not working with them, let your success rep know. Happy to explore those options with you. Let's transition a little bit, Rob, kind of into your really like leadership across your group sales team. You know, the Falcons were in the top 3 for NFL partners on FEVO revenue. And I think your team, you know, you're really starting to do some creative initiatives in the off season. So can you share with the group what you are doing with your sales team to engage group leaders in the off season, but maximize opportunities for the upcoming year?
Yeah, we try and give our group leaders, we try and treat them like they're season ticket holders, because at the end of the day, they're helping us move quite a bit of tickets. And then actually tomorrow, we're able to partner up with our private events team and our premium team, where we'll be hosting a Fiesta with the Falcons event. And that is an exclusive event that we're able to do for our group leaders, where I think we're going to have 300 plus people coming out to the stadium on a quiet day. They're able to see other areas of the stadium. So we're not always just trying to target our upper level. We're also using FEVO for our club seats. So we'll be doing an event in our club. If we didn't have Taylor Swift, you know, we would have had the draft party at the stadium. So that's something we give our group leaders access to. And then really the reps are encouraged to go out and meet with the YMCAs, the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, all throughout the off season. So I kind of alluded to it before, we do have some leftover t-shirts from offers. So we are able to put together some goodie packages. And so we're always staying in touch with them year round.
Great. Awesome. That might spark some ideas for anyone on the call that might want to host really a tailored event for group leaders to maximize renewal revenue. And I'm sure it was a busy one with 3 Taylor Swift shows for sure, Rob. So thanks so much for highlighting that. Let's talk XFL. The XFL is back. Cooper, so excited for you and your 8 teams. And obviously the championship coming up next Saturday. So everyone tune in, gives the XFL some love for sure. Really where we'd like to dive into this, Cooper, is the XFL is back. You guys have really kind of hit the final mark of this season, but how are you and your 8 markets really maximizing the excitement and looking at the upcoming season to utilize group sales and theme planning?
Right. With the relaunch of the league, you know, there was a lot of unknowns. So now that we've gotten almost all the way through year 1 here, we are able to see what worked, what didn't work, go back to the drawing board this summer and, you know, create some solid strategies moving forward. I'm in a little different situation than Rob and Kylie, as they're in the off season and we're just ending our season. So, but looking forward to analyzing what worked, what didn't, and keep it going here with year 2, 2024.
Great. So Cooper, really your opportunity, right? Like you're at the league level and being able to share insight down to the 8 markets that you oversee with teams. For this upcoming season, are there any key items, whether that's, season tickets being a strong initiative, groups, et cetera, that are maybe going to be those like top 3 items for your markets to focus on?
Yeah, it's unique the way we're set up. All of our 8 markets have their own sales teams and their own people on the or foot on soldiers in the cities, right? And then we at the league level we kind of make sure everyone's on the same page internally. And I think season tickets is definitely number 1 right now. Another reason that I didn't mention earlier of why we use FEVO is because then we're able to push a lot of our groups via e-commerce and use our reps to sell more seasons compared to traditional groups.
That's a great actually segue into the next piece, especially as having a really large group offering. But I think another element of FEVO that can sometimes be overlooked, right, is as you have a team getting up and going, or potentially a smaller sales staff, there are ways for FEVO to be selling and driving those initiatives when you're out of office or with reduced kind of staffing as well. But I think for your teams, again, working with each of those individual markets, there was an awesome success story coming out of San Antonio. So would love to see if you can kind of share some aspects, because San Antonio hosted a City of San Antonio offer that exceeded 1,000 tickets for that one offer. Are you able to kind of talk to how that initial conversation started to set up that offer?
Yeah, sure. So we do leverage a lot of our city partnerships in all of our 8 markets. And this one is definitely one of our better markets across the league. So it's just a simple BOGO offer, but it really took off for the first game. And then, we did this also in Houston, which has a lot of success, St. Louis. So leveraging the city partnerships, city employees definitely was a big part of our group sales effort this season.
It's a good part of highlighting, right, your city partnerships. And I think Rob alluded to the collaboration with other departments. Partnerships is a department that all of you may already have great relationships with, or this could be an area to really expand on. How are you leveraging those partnerships where there might be certain tickets offered in the partnership or signing rights, but how are you actually incorporating the rest of those employees to come out and take advantage of some of the incentives that your team offers? So that actually leads into the next part. Is the XFL did a really good job of utilizing, whether it was a company that paid for tickets or incentivizing with one complimentary ticket. Can you talk a little bit about how you generated buzz, either offering a complimentary ticket with additional tickets being purchased?
Yeah, so some community groups in different markets, we were able to give them like a bucket of complimentary tickets up front. Being a new league, we're just, trying to get the word out there, generate buzz, right? So once we were able to distribute some of these complimentary tickets through FEVO, have an additional purchase option as well, we're then able to go retarget them for game 2, game 3, game 4. So a lot of that, we did see a lot of success with retargeting those community groups and different groups that we were doing those buy one get one deals for.
Awesome. Well, we're really excited for the upcoming season and obviously to keep the momentum going with the XFL. I think anyone that is joining as a viewer today, something to keep in mind, right? As Cooper, Rob, and Kylie have mentioned opportunities and tickets that they're selling, keep in mind, if you're in a sellout situation, there are still additional group aspects to be able to offer. With LSU, and Kylie, shout out to your team on this one as well. You guys are offering stadium tours. We also supported the stadium golf tour that went through LSU. We even have teams that are utilizing scoreboard announcements as a way to sell additional revenue. So something to think through for any of our teams that might be in a sellout situation or have really reduced group inventory going into next year. All right, let's talk a little bit about internal processes, because I think this is something that the three of you have some great insight to as well. Specifically, Kylie, I'm going to start a little bit with you and going back to family weekends. But obviously, you mentioned there's a lot of departments involved. And for collegiate partners listening in, there might be some kind of success stories to navigating those relationships. Can you talk to how you really got buy-in, or where was the middle ground that maybe everyone met on to decide to move forward with promoting it on FEVO and making it a digital purchase process?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of meeting them where they were at, but being willing to have the conversation, letting them know why we're trying to go FEVO, how it can benefit them. It's not just, something that is good for us and good for our office. It would be good for them, and just kind of showing them, hey, this school is doing it this way, and they've had a lot of success. They've actually built their family weekend up because they can reach more family members and more people. And so it's just a lot of conversations, letting them know how things are working other places and how it can help them and us on the athletic side.
Great. I know this isn't related to internal, but I do want to make sure we answer this question because it did come in for you as well, Kylie. The attendee is actually asking, you noticed that more expensive tickets were really selling well on family weekend. The question comes in, are you considering adding or moving more of your higher priced items onto FEVO moving forward?
I think it definitely has been a conversation we've had for that offer specifically. I know we've talked about ways to add more of the a little bit higher priced for family weekend, since that was such a big hit. Some groups, that doesn't work out as well. So I think it's just kind of seeing over time what's more successful with each group. Because, like I said, family weekend, they loved it, but some of our other groups, they were really only interested in the discounted ticket. So kind of knowing the group and seeing what works for them as well.
Great. And you mentioned parking as an add-on. I think for everyone on the call as well, Rob did a great job of talking through merchandise being added. That's, I would say, an area, depending on how your parking is structured, that we're seeing a lot of our teams move over to FEVO, just because it makes it a one-stop shop for your ticket as well as your parking piece added on there also. Kylie, and then going into this upcoming year, marketing, I think, has a really big involvement with promoting out initiatives, because yes, you can build the offer on FEVO, you can send it out, but what would you say your marketing team is doing best to support you to really maximize sharing your offers to a wider audience?
I think it's just getting it out there in general. Our creative team does some really awesome graphics that, make people click on them, in whether it's emails or on social. And so they do a really good job of just making sure we're doing app pushes and getting it in front of the right people, and really like segmenting who we're targeting, and making sure, we're not sending football offers to people who only care about softball, and kind of vice versa. And I think that's been really successful for us, is just really drilling down to who we're sending these offers to.
Great. Rob, you and I had a chance to connect on some things that you're incorporating this off season, and relationships with some other internal departments that you're really trying to strengthen and utilize that partnership and kind of collaboration. Can you talk to the group what departments you're really dialing into and building more of a bridge between to navigate this upcoming year?
Yeah, I would say our key departments we're focused with are live events, where we're really trying to be their fulfillment arm. So if they have an idea that they want to do youth football versus mascots, let us take care of the work on finding the youth football team to play against them. We did they want to do a high school battle of the bands. Let us go out, find a good high school rivalry that has some history. So we really partner with our live events and our partnership team on being the fulfillment and execution arm, because we do have a good sized group sales team that's bigger than some other departments. So not only can we fulfill it, but we're also going to be able to provide bodies on game day to help execute those. And then security is one where you got to get security's clearance on everything. So we work really closely with them. But then I alluded to sponsorship as well. So we're really looking to work with our activation team and seeing what are some of the key items that our partners are really focused on for this upcoming year, and how can we tie our theme days into something that they're looking to promote this year. So I think one thing we were able to do last year is Emory Healthcare was really big on youth football. So in a matter of 6 weeks, we were able to put together a youth football parade where Emory was able to provide tickets for underprivileged schools that aren't always able to do professional photo shoots. So we're actually able to get them to do a photo shoot after a game on the 50-yard line. So that was something that was really cool that came through collaboration with our partnership team.
Love that. So we have about 3 minutes left. And I think a big area for attendees listening in, and also the three of you, is really prospecting. Like, how are maybe your teams going outside of the box to find new business? Rob, you hit on a little bit of the initiative that your team is really going out in the market, assigned a league. Cooper, Kylie, Rob, any other advice on prospecting that you're doing differently this year?
Overall, for my team,
go ahead, Rob.
All right. Overall, for my team, they do have top priority categories. So we have someone assigned to corporate, we have someone assigned to schools, we have someone assigned to military, and it's really on them to go in and integrate themselves into the that network. And we really do work, and I should have mentioned community relations. They have a really established great relationships. So we always try to be an additional arm on there, and they have huge databases. So it allows us to have the conversations about buying tickets instead of being entered into a pool to potentially receive free tickets from our CR team.
Great. Cooper, what about you?
Yeah, I was just going to say, with being a new league being relaunched, really just now that we have this big database, going back to being able to push people via e-commerce, and really just make our customer base larger by the day. So
no, fantastic way to utilize, right, data capture. How are you really maximizing that? Feel free to drop any questions in the Q&A, but this is a group question. I would love to open this up to the three of you. Are there any specific trends that you're really following or paying attention to moving forward, whether that relates to theme nights or to specific group sales?
So one thing we definitely want to do for next year is the merchandise ticket packages. Piggybacking off what Rob was saying earlier, I think that those are definitely popular. They move the needle, and they're definitely unique. Give the customer a little more value than just the discounted ticket.
Great.
I think we're also kind of looking in that direction, whether it's merchandise add-ons or donation pieces, for whether it's the sport specific giving or NIL or different areas. We're kind of just talking about what would be more beneficial for us and LSU as a whole.
Yeah, our big focus for this season is one of our best offers. I'll highlight is our teacher appreciation offer. It's done 2,000 tickets each of the last 2 years. So year over year, we've had to change up the item and get creative on that. But when we're getting 2,000 teachers to come out to a game, we want to have them out again. So we're really focused on how do we make them a repeat buyer, not just year over year, but we're trying to get those teachers out 3 or 4 times a year now when we have a strong database like that. And it doesn't always have to be a merchandise offer, but if that gets their attention early on in the year, we're really trying to focus on the first 4 games. Then how do we get them out again for a second and third game within the same year?
Awesome. Before I jump into Q&A, because there's a couple questions that have dropped in. Kylie, one of the question is, what is all involved in the stadium tour? If you don't mind just sharing that with the group.
Sure. So they meet in our lot room. It's kind of the trophy room where they can see different trophies, different helmets of all the different teams that former football players have gone to, kind of where they do game tape review, and they start there. They see our win bar. They get to go onto the field. They get to see the view of the club, kind of what that looks like. And then I believe they also go up to our Skyline Club. It's one of our higher level areas. They're able to take pictures in all of these areas, get to take pictures in the lot room with, banners and all sorts of stuff like that. I know we would like to continue to change it up a little bit, but it's just people really like it. We're trying to get more dates that we can make it happen because they're very popular and sell out really quickly.
Awesome. Yeah. And I would say anyone on the call, if there is a offer that you've heard of, connect with your partner success rep. We can bridge the gap to connect you with the teams that are doing that or sharing the links. The last two questions, I think we can kind of summarize because I know we're running a little over, but this is open to the three of you. With group leaders, when you are building a FEVO link, do any of you have advice for how your team is really maximizing driving sales on that link outside of just making a flyer, promoting it out? Are there any other kind of advice that you would give our listeners for how to make sure you're maximizing the sales once a FEVO link is made and sent to a group leader?
Yeah, for us, it's really about coordinating with that group leader on what their current internal communication with their community is and how we can integrate. And really a big push for us is always getting a standalone email to launch our offer. Once we learn that time frame of when we can secure a standalone email, it's not like an open-ended offer where it's going to go live on October 1st and just live open for 6 weeks. We give them a short selling period, and it's not something that we want to have inventory sitting on a link for 6 weeks. So we really try and keep it where, hey, this is an offer that's going to be exclusive for 1 week, and really allow us then to manage inventory for future weeks. So that way we don't have multiple offers pulling from the same inventory.
Great. Cooper, Kylie, anything else to add there?
Yeah, I really like having the call to action with, this link expires by XYZ date, and, the verbiage of, tickets based on availability, always having those in every one of our links just to get that out there to the customers and to their buyers to make sure that, oh, well, I only have 2 days left to buy this, so I better get on there and do it. So.
Yeah, I think it's just make sure we're staying on top of the communication with the group leader and making sure that we're doing everything that would benefit them. And if we can do more, just kind of open communication and being available.
Great. The last thing I'll add, and this is a shout out to Mallory, one of our success partners. Previously, when she was on the team side, they really established a FEVO Friday and utilizing the analytics to drive and follow up with your actual group leader. So in addition to every piece of advice that Cooper, Rob, as well as Kylie has just shared, I think that is a very critical piece that can be overlooked. You and your sales team have access to seeing the tickets sold. How are you really following up and holding your group leaders accountable to where those sales are actually tracking? So exciting things to come there. I know we've gone a little bit over. Any other questions that do come through, we'll make sure to follow up. I want to give a big shout out to the three panelists. You guys did fantastic. We really appreciate you sharing your advice. Thank you everyone who stayed on a little bit longer. Should you have any questions, please reach out to your success rep. We have some really exciting things coming this summer that we'll be excited to be rolling out as far as feature updates. So thank you for the time and happy selling for theme nights and group sales this upcoming season. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.